All right, so this is going to be very, very interesting. We're welcoming back Mr. Scott Lien. He's the CEO and co-founder of a wonderful product and service called GrandPad. And Scott, welcome back to Senior Care Live.
Thanks so much for having me on, Steve. I'm really excited to share my story with you today.
All right. And today we're going to be diving into a powerful story of connection, gratitude, and remembrance. And again, don't forget, GrandPad is a purpose-built tablet designed to reconnect older adults with their families and the world around them. And Scott recently returned from a very special trip to Normandy, France, for the 81st anniversary of D-Day. And Scott, I'm really, really looking forward to hearing all your stories. I follow you on all of the social media, and I was really moved by some of the pictures and some of the stories. So it just looked fantastic. Let's start with the trip itself. Tell us what took you to Normandy and what the experience meant to you personally.
Yeah, it was a life-changing trip. The earlier here in June, the first week of June, I had the incredible honor of being invited and being able to join nearly 24 of our World War II veterans who were aged 98 to 104. We celebrated Betty, who turned 104 during the trip. We celebrated her 104th birthday in Normandy. And it was really a trip of a lifetime. And we're honored to be partnered with Delta Airlines, who's one of the marquee sponsors, and a fantastic nonprofit organization called the Best Defense Foundation. And I was invited to represent GrandPad and be there to commemorate the 81st anniversary of D-Day, and be part of this and get to know these amazing veterans. And it was profoundly humbling and really an emotional experience, one I'll never forget.
Oh, I can imagine. What was it like to stand on those historic beaches with the veterans who were literally there in 1944?
Yeah, it's hard to describe in words, and I would encourage people come to our website, grandpad.net, and there's a link on there under the What's New about our Normandy blog, and you'll see some of the pictures and stories and videos there. But just imagine this, 24 World War II veterans, all around age 100. We all flew over on a chartered jet that Delta sponsored and organized. We actually did a low altitude flyover of Omaha Beach in a 767. And just imagine a 100-year-old veteran looking out the window and seeing, and some of them had been there before, but many had not, and looking out the window and seeing Omaha Beach, peaceful, beautiful, families there, sunbathing and so on, and knowing that they were the liberators. They were the ones that kicked the Nazis out of France and ultimately won the war. And I'll never forget, one of the gentlemen said, yeah, last time I was here, they were shooting at us, and now they're welcoming us as liberators. So wow. It was very emotional. And I'll say these veterans, many of them, they all lost their comrades, their buddies, their friends. And many of them, just like in the movie Saving Private Ryan, they felt, kind of, why me? Why am I the one that survived when all my buddies got killed in the battle? Mm-hmm. And they felt this obligation to live their life and do something amazing with their life. And frankly, I get a little choked up just telling about it because, these people went on to live incredible lives, have incredible families. I met many of their families. And they lived their best life because they felt they were special, like they didn't want to waste it. And here they are, age 100, 104, and still living and sharing. So it was really incredible. And we have so much to learn from them. And part of this, the reason that Delta, Best Defense Foundation, GrandPad, why we and others, Michelin is another marquee sponsor, Abbey Ramp was another sponsor, why everyone came together to make this happen was, to honor and recognize them and let them return for this experience and be honored by the people of Normandy, who are just over the moon excited to greet these veterans. But it's also so they can tell their story, right? So they can be heard and we can all learn from them. Sadly, there's terrible wars and conflicts going on still, but we can all learn from these veterans. And so that was really the role that we GrandPad played, is to connect these veterans with their family, friends, and caregivers in the broader world, so they, we can hear their stories.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And when you were describing this low altitude flyover, and some of these veterans had not been there since the war, I cannot imagine what they were feeling. Sorrow, pride. Why was I spared? And all of the above. I can't imagine. I'm getting chills just hearing the story. Scott, many people know GrandPad as a senior focused tablet, and it's fantastic. How did GrandPad support these veterans during the trip?
Yeah, so it was before, during, and now after the trip. So we got involved with Delta Airlines last fall when we heard about this, and it was a great serendipitous thing where one of the Delta executives, she's an amazing lady called Virginia Durr, had heard about GrandPad, had bought it for one of the veterans she supports. His name is Andy Negra, age 101.
Yeah.
and she's one of the main organizers that's helped make all this happen. He reached out to me and just said, Scott, GrandPad has been amazing for Andy and to connect him with the world. Just want to thank you. And when I heard about this, we immediately got involved and, how can we help? And so we got GrandPads in the hands of a number of these other veterans. We did group video calls with them before the trip, which they had no way to do easily before. And they were able, and these men and women are from all across the U.S., and they were able to get to know each other before the trip, plan for the trip, get organized. Don't forget to bring your passport. Don't forget to, and one of them, again, he said, yeah, last time I went to Normandy, I didn't need a passport. I just needed a gun, right? And
right.
So, they planned the trip. And then during the trip, they were there, just like we all want to capture these memories with a photo or a video. They were able to capture the memories. I have an amazing photo of Fred, age 100, in the American cemetery there. And so just to give the visual, so I think we've all seen the movie Saving Private Ryan, and if you haven't seen it recently, I encourage you to go back and watch it. And there's a lot of battle scenes in that are frankly the veteran said, yeah, that's quite realistic.
That's how it was.
Bad.
Yeah.
But the first 2 minutes of that movie is an elderly gentleman walking down a path with his family behind him, and he's a man in his 80s or 90s. And then they pan the camera, and you see the American cemetery where thousands of the soldiers that we lost are laid to rest there. And it's an absolute, if you've never been there, I encourage everybody to go to Normandy and see it. It's a very moving experience. We can pay our respects and tribute and honor to these veterans that lost their lives, thousands of them. The cemetery is absolutely beautiful. There's not a blade of grass out of order, and that's due to both the Americans and the French that maintain it, and it's a real honor. So we were there with them, and so these veterans were going up to the tombstones of their lost comrades and honoring them and taking pictures, and they were using the GrandPad so then they could share it back with their family and do video calls with their loved ones back home.
That is so powerful. It really speaks to the importance of simple, accessible technology, and especially for this age group.
That's right. Yeah. One of the guys, Harold, he's like, I just have a flip phone. I don't have a way to take videos in this way. I can connect. I can take these. I can go home. He said it's designed just for them. No passwords, no hassles, no spam. And we saw that in spades in Normandy, or the impact it can have on them.
All right. We're speaking with Scott Lien. He's the CEO and co-founder of GrandPad. And what a remarkable story. And Scott, can you hang on with us through the break? We need to talk. This is a fascinating conversation. Can you stick with us?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Scott Lien, CEO and co-founder of GrandPad. Visit their website at GrandPad, GrandPad. So just like it sounds, grandpad.net, or you can call 1-800-704-9412. We're going to have more of this amazing story and conversation about Scott Lien going with some of our beloved and treasured World War II veterans back to Normandy, France. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Senior Care Live on the Senior Care Broadcasting Network. To contact Steve or a guest on his show, visit seniorcarelive.com. We'll have more coming up.
All right, we're visiting with Scott Lien. He's the CEO and co-founder of GrandPad. And Scott, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. And it's just, I almost feel like between everything that I've seen on social media, online, and your story and your descriptions, I'm getting chills. I'm getting goosebumps. I almost feel like I was there a little bit. So you had mentioned donating GrandPads to veterans on the trip. So what happens after a journey like this, and how do you continue that connection?
The great thing is they used it before the trip, during the trip, and now after the trip, we're able to capture all the photos and videos, and that's in their GrandPad, in their hands. They can see that and relive the memories of this amazing trip for them. Like I said, many of them had never been back to France since 81 years ago, right?
Oh, yeah.
And in some cases, it was painful, right? They didn't want to go back there. I heard one of them told a story that he said, we know that there was a lot of, friendly fire collateral damage of French, women and children that were accidentally killed during the fight, right? During D-Day and the bombings. And they felt bad about that, right? They just felt horrible that there was that kind of collateral damage, and some of them, they didn't want to go back and face that. But when they went back and they were greeted by the people of Normandy, who I can't understate how wonderful the people of Normandy are, how welcome they are to Americans, how much they honor the veterans and call them liberators. And they sing the American national anthem perfectly to us. They sing the French national anthem. And there was a beautiful story about that I wanted to share with you that happened during this amazing trip. So one of the veterans who was there, part of D-Day invasion, as they moved through the area, they encountered this young orphan boy. I think he was about 5 years old. And sadly, his whole family had been, killed by the Germans, and I don't know the circumstances of how his family got killed, but here's this orphan boy kind of stumbling around, and the American soldiers took him in under their wing and fed him and just took care of him while they were there near Omaha Beach. And they loved this little boy, and one particular soldier, reminded me of his little brother, and so they took him out. Then the American soldiers had to move out and keep going and fighting their way ultimately to Paris and Germany. So, this little orphan boy, was taken in and grew up, and he's now an 85-year-old man. And when all these American soldiers were coming in, it's a big deal. It's in the paper. It's on the radio. These 25 veterans are coming. Here's the name of this veteran. And he realized that's the guy.
Oh, wow.
And he remembered his name and the picture. And so they had a reuniting of these two. And if you can imagine, so 81 years later, they're reunited. This orphan has grown up to be an 85-year-old man. The veteran is now 100 years old, and there they are. And it was a very moving experience. So those kind of things of how these folks that went through horrible challenges lived their life and went on to do great things. So those memories are captured on GrandPad. They're able to bring them home and easily engage with those and keep those and share those with their families back here in the U.S.
Guarantee not a dry eye with that reunion.
It was moving.
Yeah. It's just fantastic. What kind of feedback have you heard from veterans?
They love it. I mean, we designed GrandPad just for this awesome age group we call super seniors, those over the age of 75. And the fact that it's easy, it works for them. They don't have to mess around with Wi-Fi passwords. 4G LTE is built in. There's no scams, so we built it so that the bad guys can't get in. Only the people that are on your safe list can call you or email you and share photos. Sadly, there's just so many scams against seniors, and especially these veterans who are very visible. Their name is out there on the internet. The bad guys will literally Google them up and then come after them, which is horrible. So they're able to engage with their friends, family, and caregivers and share these memories and stay connected, but keep the bad guys out. And when we see just amazing people like this that are living incredible lives at age 104, Betty, who turned 104 while we were in Normandy, 5,000 high school kids were at this big assembly saying happy birthday to Betty, 104, and then sang the American national anthem to her. Extremely moving. She's got that captured on her GrandPad.
That is fantastic. It's all about connection, but your mission goes even deeper than just technology. Tell us more about that.
It's about the connection, the human-to-human connection, and ensuring that these oldest members of our families, who have so much wisdom to share with us, that they're safe, number one. It's easy for them. It's joyful for them. Now, whether that's a birthday video call or sharing a photo or reading a message from a grandparent, these small moments mean so much. Sadly, there's a tremendous amount of loneliness and isolation amongst our elderly. More than 50% of this age group report that they're chronically lonely and isolated, which at a health level is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's not our data. That's validated healthcare data. So just by connecting them, a video call with their great-grandchild or getting that little photo can really transform their life.
That's amazing. And as you reflect on your time in Normandy, what stands out most to you?
Two things. First, the resilience and humility of these veterans. They endured unthinkable horror during World War II, yet they speak with such grace. They'll say, people will hold up, we were in parades, I helped push a wheelchair of one of the 100-year-old veterans through this small Normandy town, and there's legions of people cheering, and they're holding up signs for the veterans. You are our heroes. And these veterans will say, I'm not a hero. I'm the lucky one who survived. The guys who gave their life in the cemetery there, the American cemetery, thousands, they're the heroes. So they're so humble about it.
Yeah.
Second is the reminder that these meaningful connections are timeless. Whether you're 24 or 104, the desire to be seen and heard and remembered never fades. And these amazing men and women, veterans, they do want to tell their stories. They want us to learn from their lives. So being part of that journey really reminded me that our work at GrandPad is not about technology. It's about preserving these stories, honoring the legacies of these amazing veterans, and keeping people connected.
Well, that's a beautiful insight. And before we wrap up, what's next for GrandPad?
We're always growing and expanding. First, we want to reach more people and tell the story. And if GrandPad makes sense in your family, we hope that you reach out and come to our website, grandpad.net. But most of all, we love engaging with seniors and learning from them and listening and continuing to build solutions that's going to improve their quality of life. So we've got a lot of really cool things coming out over the next few months. I encourage you to come to our website and check it out.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing this powerful story with us today. And thank you for your commitment to improving the lives of seniors everywhere. Thank you, Scott.
My pleasure.
All right. I'm Steve Keeker, and I wish you grace and peace. May God bless you and your family on this day and always. Join me next week right here on Senior Care Live.